wanna dream. Hey. I just wanna dream. Hey. I just wanna dream. I just wanna dream. Hey. I just wanna dream.
Hi, this is Susan Bairley with Michigan Golfer, and I'm here with Shirley Spork. Shirley is co-founder of the LPGA, co-founder of its teaching division. She's an LPGA Hall of Famer, and most importantly, she's an EMU alumna.
Right on. Well, it was Michigan State Normal Teachers College when I went there, and I graduated in 1949, and that was the 50th or 100th anniversary of the school. Mm-hmm. And when it first started, it was a 2-year college, and you went 2 years, and then you got a teaching credential, and you could go out and teach. Mm-hmm. And being a state school where you were required to get a teaching credential, it was a lot less expensive to go to a school that way, because they knew you were going to go out and teach, and it was supported more from the state of Michigan. And due to that, wanting to compete in golf, in the National Collegiate Tournament, in those days, women were not supposed to excel in individual sports. And therefore, the school was not too anxious for me to be trying to play individual sports. They were supposed to excel in intramural sports and team sports. So we had a substitute teacher, and I had them sign my application to go play at Ohio State in the National Intercollegiate, which I had to pay my own way and expenses, and I won the tournament. Came back to school, and the women's department would not recognize my title because I wasn't supposed to exceed as an individual sport. So the men's department were excited because you found out that I was the only national championship they won that year for the school.
Absolutely. You were the star.
I found that information. Right. And the men's department honored me with a jacket. They couldn't give me a letter, but they gave me a jacket, and it said, National Intercollegiate Champion on it. And just a few years ago, I think at the Legacy event, I received, it was 67 years later, I got my E, and it's in a big plaque in my not living room, but in the dining room, so when everybody can see it when they have dinner at the house.
So you finally got your varsity letter.
I finally got the letter. It took 67 years, but I got it. Yeah, right.
So when you came to Eastern, you were really then studying to be a teacher. I mean, golf was your passion, but you were also
well. I was getting a credential so I could go forward and make a living in this world, and I like sports. And I read about in the encyclopedia, there was a lady named Patty Berg, and that she was excelling. There was no LPGA there, and she was excelling in becoming the game, trying to promote the game. And I thought, well, and then I read about Babe Zaharias. Wow, and she did everything. She did all kinds of sports, and I thought, well, if Babe can do all those sports and Patty does one, maybe I can do one sport. So I went forward with that thought in mind and started teaching at Bowling Green State University. They had a golf course on campus, so I went there the first year and started teaching. But then the LPGA started, and I became a founding member and a charter member of the LPGA, and then I decided I was going to make it full time and went on the beginning of our tour, which was very small. There were only 11, 12 of us out there, and it had to grow like a tumbleweed as it rolled along. It gathered up, and we've gathered up to the fact today that we have 400 registered playing members, of which 200 are very active. And then we have the Symetra Tour, which is just played here in Michigan. The Symetra Tour is our baby tour, and it has 350 members, and only 124 of those get to play each week. And in 2 weeks in my hometown of Palm Springs area of California, they have the Players School, the first stage of the Players School, and there will be, they're going to play both courses, so there'll be more than 144 girls there trying to qualify to go to stage 2 and then try to get their playing card for next year, and some who are on the tour who have to bring it back up to standard also be there. So it's really grown leaps and bounds, and we are very global, extremely global. We have tours on both sides of the world. We have 5 different organizations. We have the Japanese LPGA, we have the Korean LPGA, we have the European Tour, which is the LE, the Ladies Golf Union, LGE, Ladies Golf Union, and we're all together. We're almost like the Olympics, and I think one day I dream of them being all together as one unit rather than separate. And we have players from 32 different countries on our members of our LPGA Tour. 32 different countries are represented. And I think that if we all get together as one unit, it's going to help have a better organization and more prize monies for the professionals, let's say, and through more television coverage. And this is something we really need, and we're beginning to get more coverage.
Shirley, one of the questions I wanted to ask you about is, as a co-founder of the teaching division and then having gone to school at Michigan State Normal College, which was a teaching college, was there a direct connection between your time at Eastern and then what you ended up doing with the LPGA?
Well, definitely so, because gaining a teaching credential and being able to teach methodology and how to teach the game, was able to bring that forward into trying to establish the teaching division for the LPGA. So my education, my degree allowed me, and my background allowed me to blow my horn and keep blowing my horn and having them consider starting a teaching division. And it took 4 years at the executive board, and it passed by one vote when Marilyn Smith was president. By one vote, it passed after 4 years of my pounding it, and we started the LPGA teaching division in 1959. That was the beginning of our system. And to gain members, we began to have the National LPGA Golf School for Teachers, and it started at the University of Michigan. And it went 6 straight years gathering people who wanted to learn how to teach golf, and then being certified to apply to become a member, and that's how it really got started. And my background allowed me to be the person formulating it. So, and I only could do that because I had the education from Eastern Michigan. Let it happen. And I didn't give up. I just kept saying, we're going to do this, and we're going to have it. And they turned me down, and the next year they turned me down, and after 4 years they got tired of listening to me, and they started it.
And you've been then not only a spectacular golfer, but really you've really built your career on the teaching credential, haven't you?
Well, I also worked for 7 years for the National Golf Foundation, and that is an organization that's supported by all manufacturers of golf equipment. And doing that, we had an educational division, and Lorraine Abbott did the East and I did the West. We followed Ellen Griffin. And I probably have been to at least 40 colleges and universities where I taught a 5-day, 25-hour course for one graduate credit, and they learned teaching methodology, how to teach the game and what you're looking for in correcting errors. And we wrote the teaching manual through the National Golf Foundation, and we use that manual in the LPGA testing when we begin to test apprentices and to begin to get their credential in the game. And today we have 1,700 members.
It's amazing. I want to thank you, Shirley, for being with us today. Certainly your time at Eastern Michigan University is one that we have cherished, as myself being an EMU alum as well, and it's just a pleasure to have you back in Michigan.
Well, it's nice that they have a Shirley Spork Women's Golf Endowment Fund, and through Paul and Susan, who started it. That's why it's there.
Well, it was our pleasure to do that, and I hope that people will continue to support that. That is a...
Well, we can support it by playing my Pro-Am, which I raise money for Eastern every year. Next year it's going to be big time, and our goal is to make $30,000 and divide it between the junior golf in my desert and Eastern Michigan.
That sounds good to me, so we got to put that on our calendar. It's in 2017. Do you know the date?
April 3rd, the Monday after the Dinah Shore.
All right, we'll be there.
Dream. Hey. I just wanna dream. Hey. I just wanna dream. I just wanna dream.